We go electric.
Formula E is coming to town.
And now Evans is defending. Nick Cassidy wins his first race in Formula E.
Hot dogs, get your hot dogs.
What a victory. Stoffel Van Dorn. McLaren has the championship lead. Verne is champion again.
Checkmate.
Hello and welcome to round 12 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship here in New York. The city that never sleeps. Now, that is something that I think these mechanics can really relate to. Up all night, rebuilding yesterday's race-winning car. Nick Cassidy's car absolutely destroyed at the end of a frantic and rain-affected Formula E race. Let's take a look back at what happened just 24 hours ago. The championship leaders were evenly spread as they lined up for the start of round 11. Verne qualified 16th, with Evans in 14th. Championship leader Mortara in 9th, with Van Dorn in 2nd place, just behind the pole sitter Nick Cassidy.
And we go green in New York City. Very good start from Cassidy. Absolutely flies off the line. And Van Dorn loses 2nd place on the run down into the first corner.
A tough start for Van Dorn as he dropped to 4th, but his first lap wasn't as disastrous as it was for championship rival Jean-Eric Verne.
It's Verne! Jean-Eric Verne facing the wrong way at turn 6.
Can't believe it.
Back at the front, and Van Dorn was looking to regain lost ground.
Van Dorn hits fan boost, down towards turn 6, dives for the inside. Van Dorn up into 2nd place.
But it wasn't long before Lucas Di Grassi answered back.
There's an attack from Di Grassi. Di Grassi fighting Van Dorn. Van Dorn tries to hang it round the outside, can't get it done, and Freitz takes advantage. In vision, 1 and 3.
An epic battle at the front, but then the rain came.
You can see the rain coming down. This is going to get very, very fun in the last 12 minutes or so. And he's going for it. Mortara now suddenly finds himself 5th. Now, as the rain comes down here in New York, Mortara is 5th, Van Dorn is 4th. And that's the battle between them. And it's starting to chuck it down.
Undrivable, undrivable.
Look at it, look at it, look at the rain. Cassidy leading, Di Grassi 2nd, Freitz in 3rd. Mortara! Eduardo Mortara, the championship leader, has aquaplaned off. Oh, they're all off. They're all off.
Cassidy came off first, then the rest just kept flooding in. With the red flag flying, a dark cloud hung over the pit lane. Was Cassidy going to get his first Formula E victory? Or would the race be restarted and he'd get hung out to dry?
This is race control. The race will not resume. We go back to the penultimate lap prior to the red flag.
Cassidy confirmed as the race winner, with teammate Freitz in 3rd and Rocket Venturi's Di Grassi in 2nd. After a late penalty for speeding under a full course yellow, Mortara dropped to 9th place, trimming his lead in the championship to 5 points ahead of Van Dorn. Well, welcome to New York City. What a skyline, and it feels so good to be back to take our second bite out of the Big Apple and to whet our appetites. Well, joining us now, we've got international commentator Jack Nicholls and 3-time Indy 500 winner Dario Franchitti. Welcome, guys. Fair amount of drama on track yesterday. I mean, we were kind of expecting the cars to go round the track. Instead, they kind of aquaplaned off them. Jack, talk us through in a bit more detail what happened when the heavens opened.
Well, they just had no grip, basically. They were on tyres that had done a lot of laps. These tyres can work in both wet and dry conditions, but they can't work on the sea. And that's the big difference, really. It became a powerboat race towards the end. You can see on board with Cassidy, it's like he hits a bow wave and he is just skating. There's nothing he can do. Skating, 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 crunching into the barriers. nasty. They're all fine. Cars are all repaired, but crikey, what an end to the race.
Yeah, it was pretty terrifying, but as you say, they were all okay. Dario, I mean, you must know what it's like to be a driver. I mean, how does it feel when you're suddenly aquaplaning at that speed into a corner?
It's a horrible feeling when you lose control like that. The bottom of the car is so close to the ground, and that was closer to the ground than the depth of the water, so it becomes a surfboard. And so that's what happened there, and they skated off one after the other, and when they started hitting each other, that's when it was a big problem, and the fact that everybody's okay says a lot about how safe the cars are. But yeah, the drivers, they were the first ones on the scene. They tried to back off a bit because they thought it was going to be wet, but they didn't. What they were confronted with was very unexpected.
But despite all of that, of course, Nick Cassidy won the race, which was absolutely fantastic. He was the pole sitter. It was a kind of, not exactly a lights and flag finish, but he was leading the race when that crash ensued. What a result for Envision, Jack.
Yeah, and it was actually really quite nice to see them all find out that they won together. That was quite sweet. It's something we should try and do more of, I think. But obviously, usually the driver, when he crosses the line, is by himself and knows. Yeah. So, good result for Cassidy, but that Mortara penalty down to 9th, that cost him a little bit in the championship. Van Dorn was the big winner as far as the finishing points were concerned, because he is now just 5 points off the championship lead.
Yeah, so in terms of the championship fight, Jean-Eric Vergne, Mitch Evans, no points. So really, none of the drivers, other than Stoffel, I suppose, finishing 4th, which is a great result, but none of them have really taken charge of the championship title yet. Can they do it today, Dario?
Well, they can absolutely do it today. Yesterday it was looking like Mortara was going to do it, but he got that penalty. The bizarre thing about that penalty was, had he crashed with the rest of them, he would have still finished 5th. It was because he tried to recover from going down the escape road and oversped just after that. That's how he got that penalty. But no, today, and it's a new day, and they've got 5 races left in the championship. If you want to take control of this championship, you're going to have to start now, because it is so close between those front 4.
Well, there hasn't been any rain, so we thought the drama had been minimised, but actually there was more drama in qualifying, because in fact Nick Cassidy, who put it on pole again, unfortunately has a 30-place grid penalty as a consequence of changing the battery after yesterday's crash. So he'll be starting right from the back of the grid. Let's go down to Razzie and see what it's like in the garage at the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. It was pretty unbelievable stuff to see. Cassidy's car behind us here. Delighted to be joined by team principal Sylvain Filippi. Sylvain, we know there was a penalty. What exactly was the issue?
Yeah, I have to say we are pretty disappointed. Basically, you get a penalty if you change the battery. So we had to change the battery on Nick's car as a result of the accident last night at the race yesterday. But it's very obvious to us that obviously this was not of any Nick's making. The conditions made that the cars crashed, and then the battery was damaged by other cars crashing into Nick. We still got the penalty for it, which I have to say we are very disappointed about, especially when Nick today again showed a flawless performance, a pole position on a car that the team rebuilt overnight. So really, we should be at the front. But anyway, it's sport, I guess.
Thank you for that clarity. And just a word on the mechanics, by the way, because overnight they worked tirelessly to make sure that car is in tip-top condition.
Yeah, as always, I'm so proud of this team. The car was basically destroyed yesterday. They rebuilt a new car. And not only rebuild it, but it's one thing to rebuild it, it's another one to make it competitive. And the car was perfect from the get-go this morning. So really all credit to them. They didn't get much sleep. I hope they deserve a bit of a party tonight for sure.
I imagine you're very proud of them.
Yeah, super proud of them. And it shows, what this sport is all about, about hard work and dedication. So.
Sylvain, thank you very much for your time. Well said. Thank you for that clarity. And I have to say, when it comes to all the cars here, we often celebrate the drivers as being the heroes, but actually it's a lot of the people that you see inside the garages, the people behind the scenes that work tirelessly throughout the year, and that was epitomised by what we saw to create that brand new car for Nick Cassidy and what's created what will be a fantastic race.
Well, we've heard what happened to Nick Cassidy in qualifying, Jack, but that wasn't the only action that unfolded during the qualifying session. Give us a quick rundown of the highs and the lows, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll start off with the lows. Eduardo Mortara, I mean, we've spoken about him a lot. The championship leader went out on circuit, coming down towards turn 1, and the car just kind of wiggled a little bit, went straight on. Turned out they had like a brake-by-wire problem with that car, maybe from where they've rebuilt it, because again, another new car overnight because of the accident yesterday, and that was it. Mortara didn't get to qualify. Jean-Eric Verne was looking quick until coming through the chicane at the end of the lap, had a huge slide, waxed the rear right of the car, and he was out of qualifying too. But Mortara will be starting at the back of the grid, right at the back. Verne, despite that accident, already had 1 lap in, so 12th on the grid for him. That's not terrible. He can at least score some points.
The other driver who might be able to score some points today for the first time, Camara. No.
Yes,
Camara. There we are. I'm trying to pronounce it wrong. Camara. Let's talk about him, because that was just a phenomenal lap for him. Brilliant for the team. Jay Penske celebrations.
Yeah, 4th on the grid for Sergio Sette Camara. It was an absolutely superb performance from him. But I'm really interested to see how his race is going to unfold, because right behind him and are the 2 championship leaders. It's so busy down on this grid, I love it. Right behind him on the grid are the 2 championship leaders, Mitch Evans and Stoffel Van Dorn, right behind Sergio Sette Camara, and they have a big opportunity to score points. So Mitch Evans did well. He kind of brushed the wall a little bit, but ultimately got knocked out by Alexander Sims during his qualifying duel, and then Stoffel Van Dorn as well, also getting through to the quarterfinals. Again, not quite able to advance through any further, but they're both in that final part. They're both in the front of the field, which is going to be great for them in the championship.
Okay, so then it all came right down to the final, Antonio Felix da Costa and Nick Cassidy.
And then it didn't matter, ultimately, did it? Because at the time we did, and Nick Cassidy did an absolutely superb
Still
lap.
matters a bit, though, taking pole.
I agree, and it was a really stunning lap from Cassidy, and I didn't really realise how big a lap it was. At the time you go, oh, he's beaten him by just over 1/10 of a second, but he did a 1 minute 8.5. No one else got anywhere near that throughout the session. It was a huge lap from Cassidy, fully deserving of pole position. He gets the 3 points. He gets the little statistic that he's had 4 career poles, but he doesn't get to start here. That's the problem.
Well, Jack, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I would say have a break, but you don't have time for a break. Go back to the commentary booth. Right, okay. Well, as you can see, the crowds are really pouring in onto the grid, and it's not long till racing starts.
Não, acho que não. Mas tá calor.
So we are at the front of the grid. Of course, Antonio Felix da Costa is the man who has inherited the pole position from Nick Cassidy. This is a big race for him, for DS Techeetah. Can he help Jean-Eric Verne? He's starting from P12, but obviously it's him who might take the championship title. But for now, let's go to the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, what a moment there. Brings a real sense of occasion to what is happening in New York City. It might be the 5th time that Formula E has returned, but it makes it even more special to be here. Sorry to interrupt, or I don't know whether we can interrupt. Is that okay? Quick word, it's not okay. As he says, it's not okay. We'll go. No, we're not going. Quickly. Pole position. I mean, you've inherited this position, of course, but what a lovely, clear view you have ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, the big advantage here is to start on the right side of the grid because it's cleaner and we saw yesterday that people starting on the left, it's quite easy to lose a position even before you get to T1, so this is obviously good. And it'll let us to do our own race and see if we're good enough. If not, then we have some things in our sleeves to try and fight the others.
Interesting. Right. What's up your sleeve? Come on then.
Long sleeves, a lot of things. Like,
what are you hiding up there?
If I tell you, I have to kill you, so.
Do you know what? I'm anything to get this message to the audience. I'm up for it.
I don't have much. Okay. Let's see.
All right. Well, Antonio, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. Good luck for the race. Let's see if we can grab a quick word as well with Andre Lotterer. He's starting from P3 on the grid. A really good qualifying from him today. Andre, do you mind if we just have a quick word? Obviously 10th in the championship at the moment, so this is a great opportunity to get some valuable points.
Yeah, definitely. I hope it goes well. It's a tough circuit here to race at, but it's a good starting position, so hopefully we're going to have a good race.
I mean, we've seen a fair amount of pace from the DS Techeetah cars. Do you think you can match it?
Yeah, I was racing Antonio yesterday, so we had similar pace, so let's see how it goes today. Definitely on the good side also to start here. So hopefully maybe I can pass Alexander at the start and then and see what happens.
And obviously we get a second shot at today. What did you learn from yesterday that you can use in today's race?
We all learned a lot of things, you know. We're definitely on a better level today, but I think it's the same for everyone. Also where to watch out for at the start and how to overtake a bit. So yeah, and also the team a bit better setup and track evolution. So a lot of things.
Always learning. Andre Lotterer, absolute pleasure. A very sort of, I suppose, established driver in Formula E. Still yet to have a win, though. Let's go down to Radzi.
Nick Cassidy, I can't imagine the roller coaster of emotions you've been on over the past few hours. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, well, yeah, not really a roller coaster, it just happened, right? So we've done an amazing job in quali. The team's been really on it this weekend. Really proud of all my guys. It's a big pleasure to be able to drive a car when it's this good, and it's made me look pretty okay at the same time, which is nice. Just now, obviously, yeah, can't really be finishing what we thought we were going to be today.
The one thing is, I know that when people are watching you who are important, that can spur you on, but no one's more important than your mum and dad, and they're both here just like they were before, and it's worked so far.
Yeah, it's worked. It's good to see them again. It's been a while. Really nice to have the family here, and ultimately it's still been a great weekend for us. I mean, we've 2 poles and a win. Today we've been kind of kicked below the belt, but that's part of the game, I guess, sometimes.
And just very finally, is how you responded to finding out on air that it had happened. You were an absolute advocate of the sport, and it showed incredible sportsmanship, so have a fantastic race.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
So there are going to be lots of fans supporting the Dragon Penske Autosport team here today on home soil. And Sergio Setikamera, you did a flying job in qualifying, starting from P4. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm just super happy that this is the team's home race and we've done our best quality of the season. And I want to thank all the American fans cheering also for the team and all the Brazilian fans cheering for me. And let's see how we do in the race.
How are you feeling? Because obviously this is the highest you've qualified. There is a fair amount of pressure that comes with being at this place on the grid.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, when you qualify well, there's an expectation that builds for the race. But typically in the races this year, we've not been very competitive. So now we're starting in the very front with the fast guys. So we'll just have to see what we do in the race, but I'll try to extract the maximum from this opportunity.
Well, hopefully the crowd will get behind you and it will make all the difference. Sergio, good luck. Absolute pleasure. Right, let's see if we can go to Stoffel van Dorn, driving for Mercedes. He's second in the championship, and he is hanging around here. I can spot the black umbrella. Sorry, there is lots of people here, which is always good to see. It has been a bit of a, well, it's a sellout crowd. It was yesterday, and it is again today. Do you mind staying with us? Yeah, brilliant, thanks. You get your own umbrella holder at this point in your career. Well, how are you feeling about starting from this place on the grid?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, it's better to start on the right side than the left-hand side. You know, we saw a big disadvantage yesterday to be starting on the left-hand side, so at least I'm on the clean side. But let's see, it's a good starting position. I think we can have a good race, potentially fight for the podium, and yeah, let's see. I mean, today it's important to just bank some good points.
When you're looking at the championship points now, I mean, yesterday you were kind of the only driver in that championship title fight to capitalise on yesterday's race. Does that relieve you from a bit of pressure? Can you breathe a sigh of relief, or do you know that, you know, there is still a target on your back?
I mean, there's never relief in Formula E. It's you know, it's always changing, and you have to be on it all the time. And you know, the moment you're not, you're finding yourself at the back, and that's exactly what we have to try and avoid. And that's also exactly what we have to try and take advantage of at this stage.
Brilliant. Well, Stoffel van Dorn, all the best. He's having a really good season, Stoffel. But let's go down to Radzi.
Jaden Smith, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. We know you obviously for your music, not necessarily for your driving, but I understand you can get in one of these bad boys yourself.
Yeah, I just drove the Gen 2 a second ago, and it was like the craziest experience ever. I was very nervous at first, but I got in there and it was like, it's like a spaceship, technology's on another level, but you know, I'm just glad to be here to be able to support the future of electric vehicles and vehicles in general, because I feel like this is where everything's going. The world needs to be electrified. We can't continue driving around cars that are emitting CO2 into the atmosphere. We have to make a change, and I'm just so happy to see such a huge establishment like this making a change.
It's all gone. We've dropped something. We've literally lost our bottle.
Making a change altogether, you know, to really push the future of electric cars forward, because the more that we build these amazing vehicles, the more that we test the batteries and the charging and try to push them to their limits, the more that we can learn about electric vehicles for all of us to have, you know, the best type of cars and the healthiest types of cars, not only for us and for the people of the earth, but for the environment. And you know, just because you're trying to get from point A to point B doesn't mean that you should be polluting the air for yourself or the next person, you know, because we never know how everything we do affects the world. So I'm just glad to be a part of something that actually is doing something better.
Beautifully said, sir. Just finally, the big question is, did you manage to fit your hair inside the helmet?
You know, I had to use this. I had to use this to get my hair down into the helmet. It was difficult. I didn't think that would be the challenge of the day, but it turned out that it actually was. And how hot it is. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculously hot, which is a part of the problem, which is why we need to keep making electric cars.
Hashtag Afro Problems. Jaden, absolute pleasure, sir.
Bro, thank you so much, bro.
Good to meet you.
You're the best, bro. Great meeting.
Well, all the stars are here in New York, including Formula One superstar Jensen Button. Jensen, always a pleasure to see you here. Can I ask what you're doing here?
Good question. I came here for a quiet weekend, and here I am, FE.
Wait, so you came to New York for a quiet weekend? That doesn't make any sense.
No, I didn't really. But no, I'm here working on something which is quite interesting. So yeah, it's exciting. So my first Formula E race, it's mad, isn't it? You know, I'm obviously involved in Extreme E with JBXE, but my first time at an FE race, so really looking forward to it. It's amazing how fast-paced today has been, straight from qualifying into the race. I love it, and I actually must say, qualifying, the way qualifying is, I really like it. I like his shootout.
We absolutely love the new format, but why has it taken you 8 seasons to come to a Formula E race?
I've been busy. And I'm still...
Tell us about Radford then, go on then.
That's not why I'm here, but yes, we're a coach building company. I've been building cars, I've been making my own cars. So yeah, really exciting. First one is working with Lotus, so the Type 62, which is great. Anyway, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to have a good time.
Well, go have a good time. We won't disturb you for any longer. Thank you very much. Jensen Button, Radzi, over to you.
Even as an Arsenal fan, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Man United's finest. How are you, Patrice Evra?
I'm still alive.
You are, and still kicking. What do you reckon of all this, by the way? It's impressive stuff.
It's my first experience of Formula E. I'm really impressed. I'm be honest with you. I didn't expect that speed. Yesterday I did the safety car. I think the guys, Bruno, I think he loved me before we start. But after that, it was like so fast. So I'm so impressed. And to be honest, you know, to having fun and also saving the environment, the electric car, this is the present and the future. So for me, it's a massive discovery. You know, I'm a big Formula One fan, but now I think I'm going to make the switch.
Perfectly said. We need to get off this track, so thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're more
Have an
than
amazing
welcome.
day, Patrice.
You too. You too.
Well, Dario, this is it. We are literally moments away before racing gets underway. I know this is the second time, but it feels even more exciting. The atmosphere here is just fantastic.
Incredible atmosphere, but the grid is so mixed up as well, even more so than yesterday. And I think watching those championship contenders trying to come from the back is going to be something special. Can Da Costa hold on at the front? Can Andre Lostra get his first win? Oh, there's so many questions to be answered today.
And even though we are standing under the scorching sun, will it rain?
Well, there's some pop-up clouds,
so
potential.
No. I really hope not. I'm going to be doing a sun dance for the next 2 minutes until racing gets underway. But first, let's take a closer look at this epic track on the streets of Brooklyn with this guy, Dario Franchitti.
Welcome to New York. Let's take a lap of this 2.3 kilometer, 14-turn Formula E circuit. Turn 1, lovely wide braking zone, heavy braking, big arc into the corner. It's very tempting to make an aggressive move down the inside. The entry is important to this corner, but actually it's about getting the correct angle at apex to allow you to accelerate through turns 2, 3, 4, and 5, then down the long straight into turn 6. A good overtaking opportunity, but not an easy one. It's bumpy and it's narrow. But a lot of overtaking seems to go on here into this 90-degree left where you use as much curb as you possibly can, immediately followed by a 180-degree right in turn 7. Now, guys try to go side by side through here normally, and that doesn't end well. Exit of turn 7, it's very difficult to put the power down because the car is turning and accelerating at the same time. Turn 8, you stay more over to the left to try and straight line the braking as much as possible for turn 9. There's a lovely new surface in turn 9 this year, but there's a grip change and there's a bump as you enter that new tarmac and exit it. Then it's a short straight down to turn 10. The attack mode activation zone on the outside of this incredibly tight hairpin. And this creates its own problems because the drivers taking the normal line have to brake a lot earlier than the drivers taking the attack mode activation zone. So we've seen contact on the entry. Then on the exit, as the two cars converge, well, they seem not to be able to do that without a fair bit of contact. This corner has been absolute action central over the years, and I expect more of the same today. Turn 11 is a 90-degree right-hander. Then it's a short straight to the chicane at 12 and 13. Turn 14. I love this corner. It has got it all. It's high speed, it's high risk. The drivers have got to be absolutely millimetre perfect. They approach the corner, they start to turn in, they get the rear of the car sliding a little bit. There's a dip in the middle of the corner where they have to get off the throttle just to help the car turn, get as close to the wall as they possibly can, but not too close. Then they get back to full throttle, and if they've got it all right, then they skim the barriers on exit and they carry a bit more speed than all the opposition all the way down to turn 1. But if they get it wrong, they end up in the wall. The start-finish straight completes the 2.32 kilometre street circuit for the New York City E-Prix.
Just a few minutes before the race gets underway. Round 12 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. The grid is set. It's being cleared now. All that host of celebrities and mechanics and engineers all departing, leaving just the drivers in their cars. That is Andre Lotterer, third on the grid. 8 podiums, has never won a race. That's a record. Maybe not a record he wants, and maybe a record he can fix today. Alexander Sims has won before, never won for Mahindra. This is his 51st race today. He's had 3 podiums in the course of his career, but it's been 22 races since his last one in Rome last season. He's lining up second on the grid today. But Antonio Felix da Costa is starting at the front. 6 wins in the past, 1 championship as well. His last race win, though, coming in Monaco last year. 15 podiums for the DS Techeetah driver, his last one coming in Marrakesh, where he also started in first place. So da Costa will be leading the way on the charge down towards the first corner, but the big people to look at are going to be Stoffel Vandoorne and Mitch Evans in 5th and 6th on the grid. What can they do for their championship hopes today, with Eduardo Mortara starting down in 21st position and Jean-Eric Vergne only 12th. We are in for quite the race here in Brooklyn.
Formula E is back in Brooklyn.
Welcome to New York City, one of the most iconic cities in the world. Maybe the greatest city in the world is about to play host to round 12 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, the New York City E-Prix on the streets of Red Hook, Brooklyn, just over the Buttermilk Channel from downtown Manhattan. A few miles from here, the Brooklyn Bridge that you can see, and this is how the grid will line up for the next 45 minutes plus one lap of racing. At the very back is Nick Cassidy, yesterday's race winner. Eduardo Mortara is 21st. He's the championship leader. He is going to have his work cut out to score any points today. Lucas de Grassi, his teammate at Rocket Venturi, all the way down in 18th place after an infraction during qualifying. Sam Bird had a car crash in front of him during qualifying, so he's only down in 16th position. That car was Jean-Eric Verne. He is the driver who is currently coming into this race third in the championship. He starts 12th. Antonio Giovinazzi, the Italian for the Dragon team, has his best ever Formula E qualifying. He's there on the left-hand side in 11th spot. 10th, Robin Freins. Felt like he should have been on pole position, but hit the wall during qualifying and didn't make it through to the duels. Then it's the two Avalanche Andretti's. Jake Dennis in 9th position, and then a very impressive qualifying performance from Oliver Askew. At his home race, the man from Melbourne, Florida, is lining up in 8th position. Then, just ahead of them is Nick de Vries. He is the champion from last season, not in the championship fight here, but Mercedes EQ certainly are in a championship fight, and he will be looking for big points. Mitch Evans, 4th in the championship at the moment, 18 points off Eduardo Mortara, the championship leader. He starts 6th. Stoffel Van Dorn is only 5 points off Eduardo Mortara, the championship leader, and he starts 5th. Those two are the ones I'm going to be keeping my eye on the most. Sergio Sete Câmara, superb performance from the Dragon Penske Autosport driver. He is 4th on the grid, the Brazilian looking for his first points finish of the season. Can he finish inside the top 10? Andre Lotterer for Tag Heuer Porsche looking for his first Formula E race victory despite 8 podiums. And Alexander Sims is on the front row for Mahindra Racing, the British driver lining up behind Antonio Felix da Costa. 8th in the championship, 2nd last time out in Marrakesh, retired from the E-Prix yesterday. Can the DS Techeetah driver take his first win of the year? DS Techeetah are in the battle for the team's championship, but are yet to win a race so far this season. My name is Jack Nichols, a legend of America. Dario Franchitti is alongside me here in the commentary booth. So much to look out for today, but for me, Mercedes EQ, Ian James, and the Jaguar squad of Mitch Evans, those are the two that could have big championship implications this afternoon.
Absolutely, Jack. But can anybody find the advantage to pass Antonio Felix da Costa and the gold and black Cheetah sitting on pole position? And can the championship contenders at the back get to the front, get into the points even to score?
The car's doing burnouts before they pull forward into the front 2 rows. Da Costa lining up on pole, Sims alongside him, all the tyre smoke being carried along on that beautiful, refreshing breeze that's coming off the Atlantic Ocean as the heart rates begin to rise inside the garages. 45 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. Only 4 races to go in the championship after this one. That's Evans' view from 6th. Da Costa on pole, all 5 lights are on, and we go green in New York City, and it's a slow start for Lotterer. He finally manages to get away, but Antonio Felix da Costa has a huge lead coming down into the first corner. Up the inside goes Sergio Sete Câmara trying to get or keep Nick de Vries behind him, and he manages to pull it off. So it is da Costa leading, Sims 2nd, Van Dorn up into 3rd, Sete Câmara in 4th, de Vries in 5th, Dennis in 6th. Dennis has got ahead of Evans, Giovinazzi's made great progress and up into 8th, Askew drops down to 9th, Robin Freins is 10th in the Envision, Lotterer down into 11th position. Cassidy will have to serve a drive-through penalty because of a battery change earlier on, but what a perfect start for Antonio Felix da Costa. Sims didn't get a great getaway, but but Lotterer didn't move at all.
No, I think a technical issue for Andre Lotterer. The car just did not go, and then he got everything reset and off he head. But right now, Lotterer sitting in 11th place, and that's going to be hard to come back from.
So there they come around the Manhattan hairpin. Everybody going defensive further back to the outside. There goes Sam Bird, attempting to go all the way around the outside of Dan Ticktum, but not able to pull that one off. Now they come up through Buttermilk Bend and into the chicane for the first time. Then out through Clinton Wharf, the final quick left-hander on the circuit, and that's a lap around the streets of Brooklyn. And DaCosta is leading, and Alexander Sims is right with him, and they've pulled away a little bit from Stoffel Van Dorn, who's in third place. Robin Freitz on the attack. He goes past Antonio Giovinazzi. The green Envision makes his way up into 8th position now. So good early progress from the Dutchman. Askew dropped down into 10th at the start now. Lotterer is there in 11th, but Freitz making progress as the cars flash down Bound Street.
And you see how tight the circuit is, how quick a lap happens. You've got to make progress. When you get an opportunity to make a pass, you better make it. Absolutely clatter the curb in turn 6.
Sims is staying with DaCosta. DaCosta looked like he had a big breakaway, but Sims came right back at him, and the two are now right together. Jake Dennis has gained 3 places. Dan Ticktum actually gained 4 places off the start. Jean-Eric Verne dropped 6 positions. Verne dropped 6 places, and he's now just 1 position ahead of Mortara. What happened to Verne at the start? When we get the replays, we'll try and pick it out. We're on board with DaCosta, leading the way.
Great stuff from Alexander Sims in the orange Mahindra in P2. You get a great view of him there jumping over the curbs again. He really did a fantastic job in qualifying, but he's hanging right there. He's getting in the slipstream of Antonio Felix da Costa, which is helping him to save a bit of energy, go quick, stay in P2, and occasionally have a look at taking the lead.
The gap is a second between Sims and Van Dorn. There's a look from Dan Ticktum on the attack on Buemi.
What a late move, but lovely stuff from Dan Ticktum.
Ticktum carving through the field. He's now up into 12th position. Bird is trying to chase Buemi as well. But the thing is, that move from Ticktum has cost him a lot of ground to the gang in front. Sims is sitting right underneath the rear of DaCosta's car. He is stuck to that gearbox.
Absolutely right. One thing to consider, 45-minute plus a lap race, very hot out there. The tyres are going to be absolutely tortured today. So you set the car up to work more in the middle to the end of the race. You're going to see cars that work right now and then cars that will work later. But when the rear tyres start to go off later in the race, that can mean you're in absolute trouble. You just can't put the power in, just wheel spinning out of every single corner, losing speed and losing position. So you've got to set the car up for the whole race, not just for these first 3 laps.
Have a look into Buttermilk Bend. Giovinazzi, sorry, set a camera fighting quite hard. I think he was trying to get De Vries coming into turn 11, which was a bit of a unique place to attempt a pass. Across the line we go again. Askew's got ahead of Giovinazzi now.
Watch for Dennis behind Giovinazzi.
Oh, DaCosta goes in deep, does he, into turn 1? Big lockup from Antonio Felix da Costa. Now comes through the dog loop, and he is still in the lead, but goodness me, that was, he went in a bit deep there.
Pay attention. You've got to be inch perfect. Look how close the walls are. The slightest mistake, and you're not only going to lose a position, but your day is over.
DaCosta leading. Sims second, Van Dorn third, De Vries fourth, with 41 minutes plus 1 lap to go in the 12th round of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship. DaCosta leading, Sims second, Van Dorn third. Here's a look at the start. Look at Lotterer. Oh, he jump-started. He jump-started. So he hit the start, and then he had to hit the brake. That's what happened to Andre Lotterer there.
Yeah, he did.
Or did it automatically do it, or something like that? There was a weird one.
To see that again, Jack. That definitely seemed to go, didn't it? But did it go the same? Oh, here's Verne.
So Verne's getaway is okay. He's on the dirty side of the grid. He loses out to the Nissan. Down into the first corner. To the outside goes Gunter. And meanwhile, down they come towards turn 1. And DaCosta leads. Sims is second. I think DaCosta's just turning in a lot later into turn 1 than Sims is. That's why it kind of looks like he's going wide the whole time.
Which is
I think he's just doing it differently.
It's fairly brave because it opens up the door to Alexander Sims, and he might not need too many invitations to have a big, aggressive overtaking opportunity up the inside. You can see the Mahindra locking wheels and absolutely sending it.
Mercedes running third and fourth. And We've got 39.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. There is Sete Camera, who's just in front of Jake Dennis in the fight over 5th and 6th. The first white and red car is the Dragon of Sete Camera. Then the next red and white car is Jake Dennis. And this is Mitch Evans, who will need to make up a little bit of progress. And, oh, sticks a nose in. The gap opened up. Evans had to kind of go for it, but it wasn't really a clean overtaking opportunity. Evans needs to make a bit of progress here because Van Dorn is up in 3rd and he's down in 7th, and they started 5th and 6th on the grid.
Yeah, you could see Jake Dennis in the orange and white Andretti car block and then move back out on the inside. That was all the invitation that Mitch Evans needed. Mitch Evans looks like he's going to have another go up into turn 1. Dennis goes defensive. Mitch Evans to the outside, but nothing doing right there. And Robin Fritz is just watching on.
Frank's at the back of that queue. On board with Evans again.
This is him through turn 4 now. Accelerate out 5 here, and it's a long straight into turn 6. Let's see if Evans is feeling brave enough to attempt something into turn 6.
And how hard is Dennis going to fight as well? Not close enough this time. Into the left-hander of turn 6. Mitch Evans, 4th in the championship, really needs a big haul of points to try and get his championship challenge back on track, because as it stands, Stoffel Van Dorn would be scoring the big points and moving to the top of the championship. If it finished like this, okay, very early stages, but Van Dorn would be 10 points clear of Mortara and 22 points clear of Mitch Evans. Still a long way to go.
It's a very late defensive moves from Sete Camera. He's weaving very late in the braking zone, and he might not get away with that too many times.
On board again with Dennis, looking back at Evans.
This is turn 14, the last corner. You can see the back of the car sliding. Evans again in good position to have an attempt. Is Dennis going to go defensive? Yeah, just in the braking zone. It's going to be frustrating for Mitch Evans in the Jaguar.
Tictum has now made up 6 places, absolutely charging through the field, Dan Tictum. He's got quite a big gap to... Oh no, he's managed to catch Oliver Askew as well. So he's only half a second behind Askew. De Costa is leading the way, Sims in 2nd, Van Dorn in 3rd. 4th is Nick de Vries. Mortara's just got ahead of Oliver Rowland in the Mahindra. Then you've got the lead queue, really, which is the top 8 cars there. De Costa, Sims, Van Dorn, de Vries, Sete Camera, Dennis, Evans and Freins, all separated pretty much by less than 4 seconds. And then there's a gap back to Lossera and the next kind of queue, as it were. Jean-Eric Burns just get ahead of Antonio Giovinazzi and up into 14th position. There is attack mode on the outside of the hairpin. It's just one attack mode today, and it's 8 minutes long, so that'll be an interesting one.
So attack mode gives you 13% more power for those 8 minutes. That uses energy out of the battery too, but 13% is a massive amount of difference. So when you use that tactically today, it could win you or lose you this race. You see Robin Freins, driver's eye view, camera inside his helmet, right next to his eye. Hear him lifting and coasting, saving a bit of energy. The cars don't start the race with enough energy to finish it, so they've got to regenerate energy back into the battery, and they've also got to lift and coast in certain points, while still trying to go as quickly as possible and gain an advantage on all those around you.
So at the moment, Van Dorn and de Vries have a bit more than De Costa and Sims. Sete Camera has quite a bit less, 2% less than the Mercedes EQs in front of him, and that was to sort of be expected, to be honest. The Dragon Penske car there, number 7, quick over 1 lap, but there's a reason they haven't scored any points this year, and the car is not very strong in the race.
Yeah, it's just powertrain efficiency, really, and the cars run about, it takes about 2.5% per lap is about the number, so if you see a 2% difference 10 minutes into the race, yeah, then a wee bit of bother.
0.5% up on the cars in front.
That's Stoffel Van Dorn being told by Stephen Lane the energy usage, because we just put it on the screen. The teams don't know how much energy each other has until we decide to put it on the telly.
Not us.
No, not us, but our boss.
Our boss, exactly right. Now, we saw this yesterday, the Mercedes EQ drivers. We see them in 3rd and 4th at the moment in the silver cars. It almost looked at one point like they were going backwards, and they were going to finish outside the points, and then we saw with Stoffel Van Dorn, they just started to edge forward when the time was right. So they've been very patient yesterday, and I do expect more of the same today.
Dan Tictum has activated his attack mode, so he's the first driver to do that. We're on board with Mitch Evans, coming down into 6, and then the right-hander at 7, and then back out now towards the left-hander at turn 9. De Costa leading, Sims 2nd, Van Dorn 3rd, de Vries 4th, and Evans will be a bit frustrated to be stuck behind these drivers. He'll feel like he's got a bit more pace than those around.
And when you're behind a slower driver like that, it knocks you out of your rhythm, which is one thing in a normal race, but in a Formula E race, it knocks you out of your energy-saving rhythm too. And so then you've lost the energy-saving opportunities, and then you've got to use energy to close the gap to the cars in front after you pass. If you're Mitch Evans, after you've passed Jake Dennis and Sergio Sette-Camera.
So Van Dorn also has Nick de Vries in behind him as well to help him. And he's not under a lot of pressure here, Stoffel Van Dorn, with de Vries behind and Sette-Camera behind them. .34 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Here we go down the back straight towards turn 6 and 7 again. Da Costa's lead is up to about 0.6 of a second now, so just stretching it a little bit, not quite as thoroughly under pressure as he was earlier on from Alexander Sims. It's so interesting, Da Costa doesn't whack those curves down into turn 6. Everybody else boings over them aggressively, but Da Costa doesn't, which is quite interesting.
No, absolutely not. And a little bit further back in this battle, Sam Bird in P10, he's made 6 places up. And Mitch Evans having another look on Jake Dennis. He's got alongside, he's got track position. I think Jake Dennis has got the place, you know. Sorry, Mitch Evans.
They were still side by side coming into Buttermilk Bend, and Evans is through. So Evans gets ahead of Jake Dennis. It was a bit of a weird one. It's almost like Evans showed his nose, and that kind of spooked Dennis a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. And now, if I'm Jake Dennis, I'm going to follow Mitch Evans up to the back of Sergio Sette-Camera and allow him to be the one to open the door.
But if I'm Robin Freitz, I'm going to try and overtake Jake Dennis down into turn 1. Freitz laid on the brakes.
Efficiency on clean air.
Lovely move.
Let's catch him up without over-consuming.
That's Joseph Rocker, Mitch Evans' race engineer, saying, right, now we're in clean air. Let's catch up without using too much energy. Easier said than done.
Absolutely, because every instinct in a racing driver's body is saying, go, just use everything you've got. And the car is beeping and telling you when to lift off, when to regenerate, when you're overusing energy, basically. And you can ignore it, but you won't make the end of the race. So it adds another complexity to what the drivers are doing.
Buemi's got ahead of Degrassi. Quite a few of the midfield runners, or maybe second half of the midfield, have started activating their attack modes early. And there goes de Vries then. And Sette-Camera, and it's going to be close with Evans, and it doesn't quite work out. You get a 13% power boost for 8 minutes, and you get it once in the race. So slightly different to yesterday. De Vries managed to keep ahead of Evans. Some of the engineers telling me the key thing when you activate attack mode is not to lose a position. That's the one thing you want to avoid at all costs today, because you're in it for so long. 8 minutes today.
Absolutely right, and that was, I think that was key to de Vries' strategy, staying ahead of Mitch Evans.
And there is Dan Tickton coming into turn 1. He's up into 11th place, having made great progress throughout this race, I have to say, Dan Tickton. 17th on the grid, now running in 11th. We'll see if the Neo car can stay there.
Attack this lap, opposite Sims. Attack this lap, opposite Sims, confirm.
Here we go then. So, in a way, de Vries taking attack mode has kind of opened the opportunity for Van Dorn to activate it too, because he's got a bit of a gap behind, but they're saying opposite to Sims. So if Sims takes attack mode, don't you take attack mode. Here we go, down into the Manhattan hairpin. The leader does it, the top 2 do it, and Stoffel Van Dorn takes the lead. Da Costa takes attack mode from the lead of the race, but Van Dorn now suddenly finds himself in first position. That's a very interesting twist, because I think DS Techeetah thought they would get out ahead of Van Dorn.
And Van Dorn's going to push like crazy through this last corner. It's probably almost a foregone conclusion that Da Costa's going to pass him, but he's going to make sure that Sims doesn't get past him to take attack mode the next lap. No, he's not. Da Costa's not even trying. This is huge for Stoffel Van Dorn.
Sims defending really hard from Nick de Vries down into the first corner. Van Dorn then, and Evans and Freitz and Bird are the 4 drivers in the top 10 that haven't used their attack mode yet, with half an hour plus 1 lap to go. The team's saying earlier that...
Push to attack now, ignore 6, ignore 9.
Ignore 6 means when the car tells you to lift and coast, don't, just keep going, use everything you've got. You're going to have to pay for it later, but you've got to get that gap right now on those cars behind. Da Costa's probably going to pass him. It's whether Sims and the orange Mahindra running 3rd does.
This is going to be tight. Van Dorn going to take attack mode. Will he come out? in ahead of Alexander Sims. Here he comes down into turn 10. It's going to be tight. I don't think he is. Evans activated as well. He doesn't. He doesn't quite manage to get Alexander Sims. So Sims still there in second place. The top four have broken away a little from Sergio Sette Camara, who's running in 5th position. Evans is 6th. Freins is 7th. Bird is 8th. So Bird has got ahead of Dennis as well. I have to say, Sam Bird started 16th, and he's already in 8th.
Mighty performance.
Absolutely remarkable opening segment of the race for Sam Bird. Less than half an hour plus a lap to go. And Bird is under pressure now from Jake Dennis into turn 1. And Dennis gets ahead, but Dennis is in attack mode. Bird is not at the moment, choosing to do it later than those around him by the looks of things. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but the clock on the left-hand side is how long they all have in this extra power attack mode phase. Yellow flag at turn 1. James Barkley is the team principal of Jaguar, and Evans gets ahead of Sette Camara. Evans through on Sette Camara up into 5th position.
And watch, Evans now has to close the gap as quickly as he can to De Vries, while again using the minimum amount of energy possible.
I think it was Roland that had an issue at turn 1 because he was 4 seconds slower than everyone else in the first sector. So I think Oliver Rowland's had a moment at the first corner. 28 minutes plus 1 lap to go. So Evans in attack mode now, in 5th position. Can he close in on the back of those top 4? There comes Da Costa, the race leader. Then it's Sims, then it's Van Dorn, then it's De Vries, then it is Evans in the Jaguar. And this is where we'll start to see Van Dorn versus Evans come into play a little bit. The two championship protagonists. And there's an attack from Lotterer, going past Sam Bird down into turn 1. So Bird now, with this late attack mode, means he's running at lower power for quite a while here. Same is true of Freins.
And we've talked a lot about energy management. Tyre management, again, is going to be critical to see Oliver Rowland and the problem he had.
Gunter.
He just kept squeezing Gunter into the wall, and Gunter just kept driving. Yeah, so I guess that's when a rock meets a hard place. But yeah, tyre degradation is going to be key later on in this race, because they're going to torture, especially those rear tyres.
The left-hander of turn 9. Evans has joined the back of the Mercedes EQs. The top 6 all have activated their attack mode. Robin Freins activates his now for Envision. And he lost quite a bit of time there getting stuck behind Lotterer.
Yeah, you could see it happening, and he didn't want to force the issue, because the other option is Lotterer drives him into the wall. We saw it a lot last year, so discretion being the better part of valor. Robin Freins, but he's going to have to make, he's got that extra 3+ minutes on those in front of him of attack mode. He's going to have to go.
Yeah, I think that has maybe compromised Freins' race a little bit here, because he's going to be a long way off that lead pack that he was a part of earlier on in the E-Prix. 26 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Da Costa leading, Sims second. Now Stoffel Van Dorn in 3rd position, trying to get ahead of Alexander Sims for 2nd. Da Costa is managing this race pretty well up at the front, a 2nd ahead. But when will Van Dorn be able to get ahead of Alexander Sims? Bouncing over the curves. Evans is right in this. Certainly right in the podium hunt. Maybe the win is a bit too far away for the New Zealander, but certainly in the podium hunt. And he will have attack mode for a lap longer. Little nose to the inside to try and put De Vries off.
Yeah, a little dummy there, and he could see De Vries, you watch his head, he's already looking in the mirrors, waiting for that sort of opportunistic pass by Mitch Evans. He'll be looking again all the way down the straight from turn 14 to turn 1, watching Evans, expecting that lunge into 1 on the braking zone.
Through the left-hander.
Look at them slide the rear of the car through that left-hander from the moment they turn in. You can hear the cars hit the ground just as it crossed the start-finish line.
Evans, a very good overtaker. The win in Jakarta coming from a decisive move on Jean-Eric Verne. Did an amazing move in Monaco a few years ago for the lead of the race. Big slide from De Vries. Here comes Evans now. He also gets a bit of oversteer, but this surely is going to be Evans' opportunity. Looks to the inside, and Evans is through. Surely up into 4th place. Yes, Evans does it. Error from Nick De Vries. Evans pounces, and now he's just 1 place behind his title rival.
Good job.
Mighty. That was a fantastic, perfect move. He saw the mistake from De Vries, took advantage of it. Used a little bit more energy, I would say. You heard him stay on the throttle a bit longer, but he'll make up for that in the next couple of corners, I'm sure.
Now he's right behind Stoffel Van Dorn. This is turning into a really good race for Evans. First couple of laps in, you're thinking, oh, Evans is not looking in a good position. He was down in 7th place. Van Dorn was in 3rd, but he's managed to... It was that Van Dorn with a bit of an error through the chicane as well.
Just a little bit too sideways, yeah, over the curbs.
Using this extra power when they're in attack mode really heats up the rear tyres. And that's what I think we're seeing with some of the cars out there. That's the reason for De Vries's slide at the final corner. Oh, sorry, on the previous lap, I should say.
Yeah, in turn 5. And the problem is, when you heat them up, Jack, it's very difficult to get them back into a working condition. They just get worse.
Da Costa, Van Dorn, De Vries, Verne and Mortara are the 5 drivers who have fan boost, so they can get a 5-second power boost in the second half of the race. Evans is closing. Ominous. Title rivals. There is quite a lot of points between. There's 13 points between Van Dorn and Evans.
1 minute
Van
5
Dorn
remaining,
second.
1 minute 5, and then it's urgent foxtrot.
Urgent foxtrot.
Yeah, I mean, save some energy, potentially.
I think it means over. I think he's saying urgent. I think it means overtake.
You reckon?
Yeah. When Sims is out of. Oh, there's a crunch there with Sete Camera, but I think he's saying Sims has a minute left, and then
get him.
We've got to get him. Otherwise, we're not winning the race.
Yeah, Sims looked like he was struggling in the back tyres a couple of corners ago, but he seems to have got it back under control.
Here's the championship as it stands. Van Dorn would move 10 points clear of Eduardo Mortara. Evans would be up into 3rd, but now they're fighting. Oh, Van Dorn got a little spooked there. Thought maybe Evans was going to go for the lunge. Jake Dennis is going on Sete Camera down into turn 1 and makes it stick. But Evans is looking very, very strong here. He and Van Dorn have the same amount of attack mode remaining. And they are both going to be wanting to get ahead of Alexander Sims because they've both got a lap more of attack mode than Sims and Da Costa ahead. 23 minutes plus 1 lap to go.
And yeah, Mitch Evans didn't pass Stoffel Van Dorn there, but he forced him to stay on the throttle longer and burn more energy that Stoffel Van Dorn did not want to burn at that point on the track or in the race.
Right, urgent foxtrot time now. Looking to the inside. Can't quite get the move done there. Down into turn 1 is going to be the attack. I wonder if Evans is going to try and follow through as well. So what have we got? We've got the run down into turn 1 and the run down into turn 6. Those are Van Dorn's 2 opportunities. Robin Freitz has just got up into 8th position then. Sergio Sete Camera's dropped a few places. That's who you can see on the tower on the left-hand side. But look at that. Van Dorn is not that close to Alexander Sims. So although he's looking down into 1, Sims almost looking at Da Costa. And this is going to be the big moment now. Coming out through turn 6. It's going to be the opportunity for Van Dorn to take 2nd.
Out of 5 here, if Evans and Van Dorn could get the power down better than Sims. Van Dorn's pretty close.
Here we go, down into turn 6. Sims covers the inside. Van Dorn goes to the outside. Sims holds the position. They go wheel to wheel and Sims holds the place. Alexander Sims clinging on to 2nd position. And Van Dorn can't make it stick. And Evans now is still right behind the Mercedes EQ driver. They're all out of attack mode.
And this group is 3.5 seconds ahead of Jake Dennis in the Avalanche Andretti car. You see him just coming into your screen there. That's a lifetime in a Formula E race.
So, the top 5 battling for the win on the streets of New York City here. The 12th round of the season. Da Costa leading, Sims 2nd, Van Dorn 3rd, Evans 4th, De Vries 5th. Great fight for the lead as they swing through the left-hander and down towards turn 1, a little bit of a slide from Van Dorn at the rear. Suddenly Da Costa's weaving around a little bit to try and cover off Alexander Sims. But those are the top 5. Then it's a gap back to Jake Dennis in the red and white Andretti. Freitz is in attack mode, as is Sam Bird, figuratively and literally, as he goes to the inside of Andre Lotterer. Did he overcook it? He did. So Bird doesn't manage to keep the position. Lotterer gets back ahead. Da Costa leading, Sims 2nd, Van Dorn 3rd, Evans 4th, De Vries 5th.
And there was some contact between Lotterer and Bird. Lotterer hit the back of Bird's car. Lotterer already had the back end of someone's car stuck in his nose, and there was contact with Sam Bird.
We go in towards turn 9 again. In front of the huge grandstand that have a great view of both the hairpin, the attack mode, the Empire State Building, downtown Manhattan, the Statue of Liberty, all from one grandstand.
These cars are so closely matched now, and all these 5 drivers trying to find some kind of advantage on the other to make an overtaking maneuver, or as I said earlier, just make them use that bit more energy that you can take advantage of in those last couple of laps.
championship leader-wise, Eduardo Mortara is down in 17th place, hasn't used his attack mode yet. So going for a late one here. Van Dorn nosing to the inside. Here comes Freins on Dennis into turn 1. You can see it on the tower on the left-hand side, and Freins gets through. So he is now up into 6th position, Robin Freins, although he's now out of attack mode. He's up into 6th place. On board with Evans, 4th place, looking for a podium position. There goes the lunge from Van Dorn, and he catches Sims unaware. Beautiful stuff from Stoffel Van Dorn. Caught Sims napping, and he's up into 2nd place. Mercedes EQ driver and new championship leader if it finishes like this. Stoffel Van Dorn into 2nd position.
And if you're Da Costa, looking in your mirrors and seeing Sims is one thing, looking in your mirrors and seeing Stoffel Van Dorn is a completely other thing. You know the capabilities of that Mercedes EQ. And De Vries tries a late move. Gets it done, but runs into the back of the Mahindra of Alexander Sims too.
So Evans was trying to take a wide line in because Sims had gone defensive, and De Vries just opportunistically stuck a nose in. And that has made the top 2 break away a little bit. Sims is defending hard. The Mahindra, I would suggest, broadly speaking, doesn't have the race pace of the rest of the front runners, but Sims knows if he defends well, he can hold on to that place. 3rd position at the moment.
And the gap between 5th and 6th has gone from 3 seconds down to 1.5, down to 2. So yeah, they're closing in. We could have a 7-way fight for this lead.
5-second time penalty for Max Günther, causing a collision. Evans to the inside. Oh, he's lost it. Oh, Evans in the Jaguar spins.
Oh, well held.
Keeps it together. Only falls down into 5th position, so doesn't actually lose any places. What a remarkable bit of driving from Evans, but he hit a big bump on the inside of the corner.
Absolutely right. I'm sure nobody's been there. They might have noted it in track walk, but well held, Mitch Evans. He's got to regroup and go again. The bad news is Sam Bird pretty close behind his teammate now. He's got attack mode as well.
Unbelievable moment there for Mitch Evans. Manages to keep it together. Somehow he's in 5th position, and that has dropped him away from this lead battle. So Da Costa, Van Dorn, Sims and De Vries through the final corner, out across the line. 17 minutes plus a lap to go. Da Costa versus Van Dorn is now going to be the fight.
And you can see the gap between De Vries and Evans, but it could have been a lot worse for the Jaguar driver. The car could have been in kit form in the runoff area. Watch this as he moves over. De Vries moves over to defend from him. He hits the bump. Wow, wheels, all 4 wheels off the ground. Well,
that's unreal.
Well held.
Oh.
I mean, stunning piece of driving. And you see, yeah, exactly, calm. tell him to stay calm.
Bird has got ahead of Jake Dennis and up into 7th place, but these are the 4 for the race lead. Da Costa, Van Dorn, Sims and De Vries. Evans is now 3 seconds off that pack. Was that okay driving from De Vries?
Yeah, he didn't push him into the wall. He gave him enough room. Ultimately, it's not De Vries' issue that Mitch hit that bump. No, it was aggressive, not overly so. We've seen a lot worse than that.
Günther, 5-second penalty, by the way, for that collision with Roland, which feels a bit odd to me, honestly, but there we go. 16 minutes plus 1 lap to go. And here comes Freins on the defence from Sam Bird. Bird in 7th place, having started in 16th position.
And he's got 17 seconds of attack mode left, so if Sam Bird's going to pass Robin Freins in front of him, Robin Freins in the green car.
De Vries on fan boost. De Vries on fan boost in 4th position. Can he get Alexander Sims coming down into turn 6? He's to the outside. He's overcooked it, and he can't get it done. Sims holds on to 3rd position. De Vries went for it, couldn't pull it off. And that drops him a bit more back towards Evans, who's just ahead of Freins. So Da Costa, Van Dorn and Sims still the top 3. 15 minutes plus a lap to go. Here come into the hairpin. Da Costa leading, then Van Dorn and Sims. Sims is doing really well energy-wise here. The Mahindra is having a fantastic race. I was expecting him at this point to be struggling a bit with energy compared to Da Costa and Van Dorn, especially considering how much defending he's doing. Okay, he's probably got 0.5% less than Van Dorn, maybe, but broadly speaking, he's in the ballpark.
The question is, when does De Vries use that extra energy that he's got in the bank, those extra 1 or 2% on those ahead of him.
Now here's Lucas Di Grassi. He and Eduardo Mortara are both in attack mode now. Di Grassi has made considerably more progress through the field than Mortara. He started 18th, Mortara started 21st. He's now running 11th, whilst Mortara is still 15th. De Vries has managed to catch back up to the top 4 quite quickly. Then it's Evans, Freitz, Bird, Dennis, Lotterer. Verne is in 10th place, so looking on for 1 championship point as it stands. But here are the top 4. 14 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Through the Manhattan hairpin. Da Costa managing this race okay at the moment, but not really having any kind of energy advantage. There's Mortara now getting ahead of Dan Ticktum and up into 14th position. They come up towards Buttermilk Bend, the right-hander that takes them from the Buttermilk Channel back inside around the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal, and across the line we go again. Race leader, Da Costa. Van Dorn, Sims and De Vries, the rest of the top 4. Evans fairly lonely now in 5th, ahead of Freitz, ahead of Bird, ahead of Dennis, and Jean-Eric Verne up into 10th place in the DS Techeetah. 1 World Championship point for him if he finishes there. Can he make progress and get ahead of maybe Lotterer and Dennis? Overall, he's gained 2 places, which isn't really as many as he would have wanted, because he lost so many at the start. He got boxed in at turn 1. Everybody else basically drove around him, and as a result, dropped down the field. Now, that incident involving De Vries and Evans is under investigation. But that
because Mitch causing a collision with the racetrack.
No,
they're talking about when he hit the bump.
Oh yeah, turn 5 and 6.
Yeah, when he hit the bump.
Yeah.
I don't think De Vries did anything wrong there, quite honestly.
And there wasn't a collision either. So no. It's a bit of an odd...
Oh, there we go. Mortara.
Askew
getting into it.
Here come the leaders. If it was the collision at the hairpin at turn 10, then maybe there was a collision at least, but yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I think everybody's just trying to manage their tyres just a little bit.
So this was the one where De Vries sent it to the inside and kind of spun Sims a bit,
but he hit
forced his way
Sims
through. But again, the timing screen is very specific that the collision at turn 5, 6 is what's being investigated. So that was an interesting, exciting moment, but I don't think that's the one that's under investigation.
No, like I was saying, so at this point, the guys are just sort of looking after their tyres a little bit. The front group, they've slowed the pace down a little bit. Da Costa has. Van Dorn, though, hasn't quite got enough of an advantage to attempt to pass Da Costa ahead in the gold and black Techeetah. But Sims, I can't tell you, what a great job he's doing, just hanging in there.
Fantastic race here, Alexander Sims. Right in the mix in the top 3. Da Costa, Van Dorn, Sims, De Vries.
And Evans is slowly closing the gap, but it's going to close that gap at this point in the race is going to be really, really hard. Everybody's used their attack mode now. Mortara's got 1 minute 55 to go. He's got his teammate ahead. Will they play the team game?
11 minutes plus a lap to go. Sims defending from Nick De Vries to try and keep that 3rd position. And at this point, obviously Sims wants the most points possible, but when he is down in 18th in the championship, only 1 point's finished so far this year, it's the podium. You want the glory, don't you? You want to be stood on the podium overlooking Manhattan rather than what the World Championship points mean.
He's just going to be having fun being at the front of the field.
So this is what the actual investigation is for. I'm not a fan of this from De Vries, honestly.
The late move? Yeah, but there's enough space.
Yeah, but because there's enough space, you can't be swerving like that so late in the day, can you?
I've seen a lot later this year. Yeah, I've seen
I've seen later, but that doesn't mean that's allowed as well.
Well, if he'd have done that all the way to the wall, I would have said absolutely throw the book at him. And you know I don't like defending.
No, absolutely.
I'm very against it.
Well, you never used to need to.
That's because I was in the back.
No, because you were gone.
Oh, Jackie.
You were gone. I was being complimentary.
Thank you.
Right.
Very nice of you. Anyway, moving on.
10 minutes plus a lap to go.
If you're Sims in that orange Mahindra, every time you drive down the road, you're looking in the mirror, expecting that silver Mercedes of De Vries to come flying past in the braking zone.
Giovinazzi out of the race. Another retirement for Antonio Giovinazzi. That's 3 in the last 4 races for the Italian. Less than 10 minutes plus a lap to go. De Costa leading. There he is, Van Dorn. Sims, De Vries. Now, is Evans rejoining the fight? He is, you know. He's only 8/10 off De Vries. That last lap he was 6/10 quicker, so Evans is almost back to this fight at the front.
He's got to do it bit by bit, you know, with that 9 minutes plus a lap to go. He's got to just do it. He can't do it all at once because it just killed energy figures. And Sims again defending, and this is music to Evans' ears or eyes or whatever, that he's just closing that gap because Alexander Sims is moving all over the place defending. So that gives Evans some hope of a podium, but the win, you've got to watch for Van Dorn and De Costa disappearing up the road. But I think at this point, Evans would take a podium, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. But with Van Dorn finishing second, it's still going to be not ideal, but some decent points nevertheless. Yesterday was the first race all season that Mortara, Van Dorn, Verne and Evans, none of them were on the podium. And that's the first time that had happened all season. So Van Dorn getting a podium here would be very, very big for his championship. It would move him back to the lead of the championship, which he lost after Marrakesh. Can he get the win? Sims is, every time Sims and De Vries goes for it now, De Vries does the same thing! And he's straight on and Evans is through. So I guess De Vries didn't know that he did that to Evans because he didn't see it.
No. You'd have thought the team would have said, by the way, there's a cracking great bump on the inside into 6.
So Evans is now back up into 4th place. He's quite a way back from Sims. The top 2 have broken clear.
Sam Bird 6th.
Yeah.
Up 10 places.
Mortara's up into 12th now. But here come the race leaders, De Costa and Van Dorn. Then Sims is all by himself at the moment in 3rd position. Through the left-hander and out over the start, finish straight again. Less than 8 minutes plus a lap to go. Energy-wise, De Vries is still looking strong. De Costa and Van Dorn are pretty similar. Sims is doing all right.
Sims is right there. I mean, that is so impressive. But everybody else, yeah, quite similar. So Evans can maybe burn just a little bit of that to close the gap. Attempt to overtake him over, but look how far ahead Alexander Sims is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be easy to close that gap. And that's what we're talking about. Van Dorn, he's thinking, get him, but the car is telling him to bring...
Whoa!
Again! De Vries didn't learn his lesson. He did exactly the same thing.
And the front wing is damaged on De Vries' car. It's wobbling around a little bit. But Bird now is up into 5th place from 16th on the grid on a circuit that you can't really overtake on. This is really, really good stuff from Sam Bird, I have to say. Through the hairpin, he was quickest in pre-practice. Oh, Verne nose in on Lotterer, the 2 very close friends, and Verne remains in 10th place, but he's got Mortara closing in. Mortara's got a bit of advertising on the car as well, on the rear right. Verline's just got ahead of Sergio Zedecamera. Race leaders across the line with 6.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. De Costa leading, Van Dorn 2nd, Sims in 3rd, Evans 4th, Bird in 5th. Here's a look at what happened again then. So yeah, late. Oh, that was the first one from De Vries going to the inside of Sims.
Yep.
Oof. Huge jump. And then this is the second one. Oh, Bird went to the inside. So De Vries was defending from Bird and hit the bump. Barkley buzzing as the Jaguars gain places. And Evans is back up into 4th. What a roller coaster this race is.
Costa, possible derating.
So that is Stephen Lane telling Stoffel Van Dorn that De Costa has possible derating. What does that mean?
How to explain it? It's basically the car's starting to slow down on its own because it's not happy with some of the parameters that it's in. So, not good. Really not good. And I'm also hearing the same about Alexander Sims. Is it because it's so hot outside?
Yeah, Sims is certainly struggling a little bit with temperatures. He's got Evans right behind him on the run down into the first corner. De Costa leading, Van Dorn 2nd, Sims in 3rd, Evans in 4th. Freitz and De Vries going side by side. The compatriots swap places and Freitz is into 6th position. There's Mortara on the back of De Grassi, his teammate. But here comes De Costa. He's got quite a big advantage on this particular run down. Evans is keen to get ahead of Sims.
Nice defensive move there by Sims. Just waited and positioned the car absolutely right. No defending, but just
no further action involving Sete Camera and Dennis for whatever happened there. And they come into the left-hander now. Evans right up behind Alexander Sims. Sims will hold the defensive line at the Manhattan hairpin. And Evans goes to the outside.
Does he get the cutback though? No, nothing doing there. But again, he's causing Sims to use energy he doesn't want to use.
Next lap is final lap of fan boost. So next lap, final lap of fan boost.
So Van Dorn being told you've got to use the fan boost on this next lap, basically. And so get a bit closer to Da Costa if you can, and then use it down into turn 6 to take the lead of the race. Sims defending again from Evans. Evans thinks about the dummy. Sims covers it off a bit more. He's breaking on the dirty stuff. Gets it done.
Yeah, that just slows them both down.
No added time, by the way, because no safety car periods. I think that Sims doesn't care here about the defending or not defending. Van Dorn's on fan boost. Can't get it do.
Fan boost.
That's Da Costa being told that Van Dorn's on fan boost, but he's not close enough to do anything about it. But yeah, Sims, if he's okay energy-wise, and this isn't a track that is too difficult on energy, he can just drive the classic defensive lines, and if he can hold on to third place, so be it. I don't think it matters to Sims he's losing ground with the leaders, because I don't think he really could have beaten them.
100% agree, Jack. Ian here is driving a beautiful race. Evans is all over the back of him now. Evans has got to get close out of 14, closer than he has been to make that pass into 1.
They're all on a very similar amount of energy. Sims fractionally less, but nothing absolutely remarkable. 3 minutes plus a lap to go. Can Stoffel Van Dorn get ahead of Antonio Felix Da Costa and win this E-Prix? Or can Da Costa win for the first time this season? So Da Costa leading, Van Dorn second. Then there's a gap back to Sims and Evans. Watch out, Eduardo Mortara at the back here. He's got damage on the front and the back of his car, and on the side of his car as well. He's only in 12th place, having started 21st.
Is that damage as opposed to just the advertising hoardings?
Yeah, exactly.
He's just got too close to the wall and pulled the advertising off. Sims defending again. Evans thought about it and thought, I'm not hitting that bump again. Right round the outside for Mitch Evans.
Lovely.
Quick thinking. Quick. He thought, no, better not do that because I'll go airborne again. That's it. Let's see how quickly, if he can, close the gap to Stoffel Van Dorn ahead.
Max efficiency. Let's spend a bit of energy and max efficiency.
Oh, spend a bit of energy. That means close the gap. Stoffel Van Dorn ahead. The gap right now, 2.2 seconds. That's asking a lot.
So, as it stands, Van Dorn would lead the championship, 13 points ahead of Mortara, but Evans would be up into third position. It would be he'd still be 15 points off the lead, which he has been for ages, I feel. He keeps getting good results and keeps being 12, 15, 19, 18, 15 points off the lead. Verne would be the big loser. He'd be dropping out of the fight with just 4 races to go after this one. We'll be in London in 2 weeks' time, and then Seoul in 4 weeks' time.
2 double headers to finish the season off.
Van Dorn has a little bit more energy here than Antonio Felix Da Costa, maybe 0.5%.
And it's interesting, he's not sitting in the slipstream, he's moving out of the slipstream, he's trying to get cool air into the radiators and cool the battery, cool all the different radiators to get as clean air as he can because of the temperature issues.
Look at that, Da Costa slightly less energy than Van Dorn. There's a double yellow flag at turn 6 and 7, so someone's had an incident down there.
Okay, everybody, we got a car driver's right, turn 6.
Oh, it's Degrassi.
Go left.
It's Degrassi, and Degrassi's trying to reverse out of the way, crunches against Buemi, and this is a bit of a traffic jam here. Degrassi's been spun around, maybe even by his teammate.
Track is blocked at turn 6, please be aware. Okay,
they've got going again.
Track is clear.
They've got going again. Oh, there's an Andretti off down there. It's Oliver Askew. So Askew's been involved as well, and this might bring the race to a bit of an early conclusion. We have got half a minute plus a lap to go, so we've got 2 laps to go right now, with Da Costa leading and Van Dorn in second.
Still got a car at exit of 7, car is still at the exit of 7, drivers left.
These guys are coming through turn 4 and 5, so pretty quickly they're going to be on that scene with the Avalanche Andretti cars parked off to the left.
And there is Askew, and he is off, well, he's kind of on the racing line on the exit of the corner. Here they come, the yellow flags are there, the drivers can get through, so they take it steady, and I think we might get the race done, because we've only got 1 lap to go at the end of this one. and really, Stoffel Van Dorn's got one
It's a yellow
chance.
as well.
Oh, De Grassi's pulled off there, so with the yellow flags out, Van Dorn has only got turn 1. It's turn 1 or nothing for Van Dorn if he wants to get through, and he has a big slide coming out of the hairpin, but it's all closing up behind, actually, in the battle for kind of 5th and 6th as well. Da Costa leading, Van Dorn 2nd, Evans in 3rd.
Never mind 5th and 6th. Alexander Sims is still there on the back of the Jaguar. Phenomenal stuff from the orange Mahindra.
Final lap of the race, Verne's in the pits. Jean-Eric Verne came into the pits, so he must have been involved in that carnage down at turn 6, so he won't be picking up a point.
Remember, at the exit of turn 7, car 28 is on driver's left. Please be aware, please be aware.
Another note from Scott Elkins reminding the drivers that Askew is there on the final lap of this New York City E-Prix. Antonio Felix da Costa had a difficult start to the year. He's really coming back into it now.
Everyone obey the flags at turn 6. There's a car, driver's left at the exit. Obey the flags.
Through comes da Costa. He's got ahead, he's got through, and he's led this race from pole position, and he might be about to take his and Diaz Techeetah's first victory of the season. The nerves inside the Diaz Techeetah garage are palpable as they come through the hairpin. Evans is still holding on to that 3rd place. Da Costa's got not a lot of energy, but he's got enough of an advantage, surely, as he comes now in towards the chicane. Through the right, through the left. Sims is very close to the back of Evans.
Driver's left,
And Bird is behind him, really close, but I'm not sure he can get it done.
Da Costa through the final corner. The checkered flag falls for the first time this season. Da Costa and Diaz Techeetah win on the streets of New York City. Huge win for Da Costa. Second for Van Dorn, 3rd Evans, 4th Sims, 5th Bird. Jaguar are buzzing with a 3rd and 5th place finish. Like they've won the race.
5th place from 16th for Sam Bird, and a great 3rd place for Mitch Evans for the championship.
Alexander Sims in 4th position, a great result for him as well. Bryanson 6th, De Vries 7th, Dennis 8th, Lotter in 9th.
Let's talk to Antonio Felix da Costa. Really good. Yeah. Antonio Felix da Costa, really good, I would say. Lights to flag, well done, my man.
Thank you so much, Dario. I guess the back is back, we can say it. Aha!
That was dominant, well controlled, fantastic race.
Thanks, buddy.
Enjoy the celebration.
Will do.
The DAC is back. And he's had it under control. I spoke to Diaz Techeetah on the grid. And look, they're quite punchy a lot of the time. I'm always saying, can you win? We can win. They always think they can win.
Well, as you say, James Roster always says, yeah, we can win. Listen to the crowd.
Fantastic. Oh, I've got tingles from that. He's loving life. It is going to be a big, big night in New York City for Antonio Felix da Costa. I would, if any of you out there have plans to see him tomorrow, I'd cancel them.
I love the atmosphere with this crowd. It was the same yesterday in the rain and then the red flag. They were cheering, they were loving it. Fantastic.
So, Verne not scoring any points as well. So Van Dorn will move to the lead of the championship, ahead of Mortara. Evans with a 3rd place finish is really putting himself in contention still too. Jean-Eric Verne and the other Diaz Techeetah is the kind of big loser really of today, because he's dropped quite a way away off the lead of the championship. But today is Da Costa's day as he makes his way back into the pit lane. And a really, really... Oh yes, that's what I was saying. James Rossiter is always like, yeah, we'll win. And obviously they just haven't all season. And
he's confident, James.
He exactly is. And well, he's a racing driver. And I said to him on the grid today, what's happening in the race? He said, Da Costa's winning. And I thought, well, you always say that.
You weren't sceptical, were you, Jack?
But, no. Da Costa had no trouble. High five with Van Dorn. Van Dorn, you know, good drive, etc. Was he actually anywhere near?
He didn't have an opportunity, did he, to make the move? you know, gone from 5th to 2nd. Good day championship-wise. He would have to have done something stupid to take the lead, and he's not prepared to do that because he's not stupid and he knows the championship implications.
So that is Antonio Felix da Costa with the victory. Where do I go? He wants to know. And that is his 7th win of his Formula E career. Surely he knows he has to go and get weighed.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? Even I know that now. Yeah. I think a shout out to Alexander Sims 2 and 4. Again, we've said it, but he
honestly was not expecting him to stay there. Right, here we go. Provisional drivers standings. Mortara got a point for fastest lap in the end, so he finishes 11 points. He's 11 points back from Van Dorn. Then it's another 5 back to Mitch Evans, but that's a big gap back. 128 points for Jean-Eric Verne. So he is 27 points now off the championship lead. In fact, France is closer to Verne than Verne is to the top of the championship.
And 112 available.
Yeah.
That's if you win every race and get fastest lap and pole position. If you do that, you deserve the championship, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
Simpson stopped right over the hairpin, I saw it. And then I saw it again with 2 laps to go. Everything fucking
Apologies for the language. I was just going to say, let's see if we can get a listen to these guys without swearing.
Yeah, no chance. Da Costa winning the Heineken 0-0 Keep Cool Award. So great drive from those 3. Very busy race. Teams Championship-wise, Mercedes EQ to the lead. 7 points ahead of DS Techeetah, 10 points ahead of Rocket Venturi. Really tight stuff. High fives with some of the guests and some of the mechanics. And in a minute, we're going to chuck him on a buggy and send him to the podium.
Perfect.
Hugs all around for Antonio Felix da Costa. Race winner once again in Formula E. It's been a while, not since Monaco last year. The DAC is back, he declares. Started at the front in Marrakesh, finished in 2nd. Started 2nd in Jakarta, ended up slipping down to 4th. But finally he's converted it into the top step of the podium. And the fans waiting now to watch the podium presentation unfold in a few moments' time. The incident with Verne and de Grassi is under investigation for causing a collision. Whatever happened down there at turns 5 and 6 at the end of the race. And there's a look at the Allianz E-Village. Mortara and Dennis having a sit down and a rest. Busy race for all of these midfielders, actually. Just having a chat, and we'll bring you the driver's room later on where you can keep an eye on Formula E socials. But right now, let's head down to Radzi and hear from the winner of the New York City E-Prix.
Antonio Felix da Costa, from retirement yesterday to being the New York E-Prix champion today. How are you feeling?
I love it. This is a little bit like our Monaco, you know, like it's such an incredible city, and to win here, I finished 2nd and 3rd in the past, and to win this one today, it's amazing, especially from where we're coming from. Such a tough start to the season, and I love this. I love the struggle. I love to keep proving everyone wrong and to work with my guys and keep on improving and finding ourselves better, and here we are standing as a winner this season again. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much to the team, everyone. Fan boost every race. I love it.
We can see how much you love it. How hard did you have to fight for that?
Very. I mean, these guys behind, they were keeping me honest the whole way, you know, and I didn't have a lot of information how we were doing on holidays.
We need a holiday.
We do, on energies. And so I was just trying to stick to my targets. I was mentally ready to fight, and if I have to lose a position, I would, but I really wanted to this win, and I could see with like 10 laps to go that was it. That's what Stoff had, and I could keep him behind if I made no mistakes, but the track was picking up the grip a lot. Car started to oversteer. It was very, very hard to not make mistakes. But yeah, just so happy for this.
And to see the reaction for your team as they're walking past, your first team win of the season.
It is, yeah, first win of the season for us. We worked so hard, man. It's these guys call me up to Paris and I spend weeks in the sim. It's boring, it sucks, but it pays off. So I need to thank them as well. I know I'm the one lifting the trophy now, but I can't do it without the 80 guys behind me back in Paris as well. So so happy, and to do it with all the fans, man, it's amazing. The in-lap was amazing.
Massive congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So delight for Antonio Felix da Costa. Got a great start. Look at the advantage he had coming down into the first corner. It was absolutely huge. A bit of a lock-up from Alexander Sims in second place, but from then on, da Costa was never troubled. Took his first victory of the season after a really, really superb drive. So let's hear from the second place finisher, shall we? Stoffel Vandoorne, new championship leader with Radzi.
Mr. Consistent, Stoffel Vandoorne, second place here, back on top of the leadership again. You must be delighted.
Yeah, definitely. It's you know, a great result today, and overall, as a weekend, it was a great result. P4 yesterday, P2 today, and especially after what happened yesterday with the big crash, the team had to change a complete new chassis, rebuild a full new car overnight, and yeah, they gave me a good one again today. So yeah, thanks to them. This result is definitely for them. And yeah, it's been a good weekend for us in New York.
It's your 9th race in a row with points. What do you put that down to? Because not many can say that.
I mean, I've kind of always had consistency, let's say. Obviously, last season with the more random qualifying format, that was maybe a little bit more difficult to show. And I think this year it's possible to excel a little bit more. And yeah, so far we've been on a very good run. But we can't back it down because the competition is super strong. You know, Antonio's first victory today. Mitch was super strong again as well in the race, so he was hunting us down. So it comes down to small details. So we got to keep on top of it.
Thank you for a brilliant race.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stoffel.
Stoffel Vandoorne then finishing in second position. Got a great start, slicing ahead of Sete Camera and reacting well to Lotterer not getting away. Did well actually to not jump the start as well next with Andre Lotterer. In fact, that's the second time Lotterer has jumped a start here in New York. He got a drive-through penalty for one at the end of season 5, I think. Anyway, had some great fights, did Stoffel Vandoorne, getting to the inside of Alexander Sims, making the progress. And he finishes in second position. Third position, Mitch Evans. I think he's going to be pretty happy with this.
Mitch Evans once again on a podium. You fought like a Viking in that one. It's just a never-say-die attitude with you.
No, I mean, when you're in the title fight, you gotta get stuck in when your back's up against the wall. And there's a few times where it was, well, especially one time when I got the pothole and the car went on me, I thought we're over. Obviously, before that, I thought like a pretty cheap move from Nick to try and overtake me. Obviously, he's trying to help his teammate, but it was just one of those moves right to get out of the way, or we make contact, and he obviously hits Alexander as well. Anyway, it's just the way it is. It's all strategy and tactics at the end of the day, but not really my taste. But even after that, I'm pretty sure the car was damaged after the big moment. I thought I was out, to be honest, and a lot of flat spots, but pace was a good today. Honestly, without obviously Nick sticking up the inside of me, I think we could have won today.
It was an absolutely incredible recovery, by the way. In terms of what you do, when you're behind somebody like you were against Sims, do you always fancy your chances? You seem to relish that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously part of the game, right? It's whereabouts you play your next move and trying to figure out where your car is strong compared to them, and it never comes like, well, sometimes spontaneously, but you got to sort of line it up for a few laps. Alexander was quick today. Quali, he got me in the duels, and fair play to them. They were strong on the race. They held their own. We had really good pace today, and unfortunately, I think the wind slipped away from us, but the pace was strong, and that's really encouraging.
Back on the podium again. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Another podium finish then for Mitch Evans on the podium in 3 of the last 4 races. Didn't get a great start on that dirty side of the grid, dropped back behind Jake Dennis. This was the move he was talking about, where De Vries stuck a nose up the inside, hit Sims and forced it through, and there you saw Evans displeasure with it. That was his huge moment down at turn 6. How he came back from there to finish on the podium, I do not know. Big lock up from Da Costa at the end as the sim took the checkered flag. Delight with Phil Charles and James Barkley, Joseph Rocker in there as well, getting part of the celebratory fight by the looks of things. So absolutely remarkable stuff from Mitch Evans, finishing in 3rd position. We'll be heading to the podium ceremony in a few moments' time. We'll be hearing from more of the drivers after what was a pretty entertaining New York City E-Prix, I have to say. Enjoyed that all the way through. Lots of fighting all over the place, but it is Da Costa, Van Dorn and Evans who take the win. They'll be on the podium in a few moments' time, but let's catch up on some of the stories outside the top 3, with Radzi.
And this one is a story and a half, because Sam Bird from P16 to P5, that was unbelievable. How do you assess that?
Jaguar TCS Racing gave me an awesome car. We knew it all weekend. You know, things haven't gone our way this year for whatever reasons, but we knew here, especially here, that we had a really stonking quick car. Qualifying, yet again, lady luck, like Jev crashing in front of me in a corner where the pit lane entry is next. So I'm the only one affected. So to start 16, come through to 5th was mega. Hats off to my team who worked super hard, have helped keep my head up through what has been a challenging year. And now, kind of like proving myself again and go on to London with a load of positivity.
You're always incredibly humble. You always talk about the team. But in terms of yourself, giving yourself some credit, are you proud of that battle that you put on? Because it was monumental to see that comeback.
Yeah, I'll probably wake up in the morning and feel proud. I see this weekend as an opportunity missed, to be honest, because of the speed that we've shown. But it must have been a decent enough drive to come through and get 10 points for the team. And that's really, really critical in the fight to help Mitch and also for the team's championship.
And kind of touching on that, how proud are you of both of your performances? To see Jaguar up there pushing for that podium, and especially given that P16 start, but to see you guys both up there, often it's sometimes one or the other. Today it was both.
Yeah, it's awesome, and that's credit to every single person here and factory side, simulator side, all the partners, everybody that's invested so much time and effort. It showcases that if we continue to push, we're going to continue to get results, and that not only stems for this year, but it stems forward to the Gen 3.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
A monumental fight from Sam Bird. Now we can hand over for another story to Jack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm now here with Alexander Sims. What, I mean, you've got to be delighted with that.
Yeah, I think you said it. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah. Delighted.
Honestly, yeah, it's tough when you start on the front row, but yeah, feels like a podium. Honestly, that's been a hard season, and today, you know, I'd say it's one of the best race cars we've had all year. Well managed from the pit wall. It was tough. You know, I had Van Dorn behind me, willing to overtake De Vries, then Evans. You know, so I was constantly playing rear gunner a little bit to Antonio, and then the people ahead once they overtook me. So. Yeah, always had to overconsume a touch here and there, but overall our pace was good. We executed a good race, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was the thing, because honestly, with the sort of race pace that, broadly speaking, the Mahindras had this year, was maybe thinking you would be going further back over the course of the race, and you were defending loads, and every time the energy came up, it was like, oh, he's doing fine, energy-wise. Were you sort of surprised?
Well, I mean, obviously you hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And today, yeah, thankfully we were able to keep good pace immediately with Antonio. You know, you always get a gauge in those first 3-4 laps of where the car's at and where your pace is at, and we were holding station with Antonio pretty well. And so, yeah, after that, you just got to wait to see how the race unfolds. But yeah, just very, very pleased. Full credit goes to the entire team, every engineer, every mechanic, all the marketing crew. You know, everyone's worked so hard, and to give them a just reward with some decent points, front row start, you know, it's all very, very nice.
Congratulations, well done. Let's head over to the podium. Nikki's there.
The atmosphere down here is just phenomenal. We've got Mexican waves going on with the crowd. Everyone's cheering. We've got the Statue of Liberty over there. But right in front of me is the CEO of DS Techeetah, Mark Preston. Mark, before the race, Antonio said he was here just to have some fun. But you could hear from that interview that he really had to work for that win. But what a result.
Yeah, pretty cool. But first win of the season, amazing that it was him. Led from the start, really confident. But of course, we were pretty worried in the garage. But it's awesome. Much more exciting when you win like that.
I mean, it's it's amazing how things have turned. I mean, obviously the focus was very much on Jean-Eric Verne being the championship title contender, and now there's only a 25-point gap between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange old racing series, isn't it? There's got 4 races to go and you never know what will happen, but obviously fighting for the team championship as well, so looking pretty good.
And I mean, we can see Antonio behind us, just absolutely elated. It must be such a good feeling for him and the team to have your first win of the season.
No, it's going to hopefully be a really good end to the year. We've got 4 more races, we said, and now we want to come home with some championships, hopefully.
Well, New York's been a happy hunting ground for you in the past, so huge congratulations. I do think the podium celebrations are about to get underway, so I will leave you to it. I'm sure you'll be up on stage celebrating with them. So that leaves us, I think, almost time to spray some champagne. Back to commentary.
Thank you very much, Nikki. The podium presentation's about to get underway then, after a really entertaining New York City E-Prix, the second of the weekend. And there are the Nigel Beresford's going for it. Look at him. The team manager for DS Techeetah, pegging it up onto the podium. Absolutely buzzing to be up there. He's the man that kind of, you know, runs the operations at DS Techeetah as he makes his way up onto the team representatives. This is fantastic. Absolutely loving life. Mitch Evans up onto the podium in 3rd position. A really strong performance from Evans. Felt like he had the pace to win it were it not for that moment, let's say, with Nick de Vries. But another podium finish for Evans. Handshakes and high fives all around. And he's still keeping in there in championship contention. 15 points now off Stoffel van Dorn, who's in the lead of the standings. Speak of the devil, here he is. Didn't quite have the pace today to take the win, but started in 5th, finished in 2nd, retakes the lead of the championship. And a very impressive drive from Stoffel van Dorn, as we've come to expect really from the Belgian over the course of the season and the course of his career, to be perfectly honest. 2015 GP2 champion. But now the winner for the first time this season, Antonio Felix da Costa. It's been a long time coming since he won in Monaco last year. But now it will be the top step of the podium for easily one of the most popular men in the paddock. I remember being in the hotel when he won the Season 6 championship in Berlin, and everybody, when he came in, gave him a standing ovation. You won't find many people with a bad word to say about da Costa as he leaps up onto the top step. And for the first time since May last year, it's the Portuguese national anthem on the top step. The Portuguese national anthem for Antonio Felix da Costa, the French national anthem for DS Techeetah. And now the trophies will be handed out. Alexa Aviles, the New York City Council member of District 38, handing the trophy to Nigel Beresford. Such a, well, he stood there during the French national anthem, so I'll use it. He has such a joie de vivre, does Nigel Beresford. Tim Mayer, director of ACC US, hands the trophy out to Mitch Evans for 3rd place. Paul Flower, Vice President of DHL Global Motorsports, is the man to give the 2nd place trophy to Stoffel van Dorn. And Antonio Reynoso, Borough President of Brooklyn, is the man who hands the trophy to Antonio Felix da Costa. His 7th victory in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. It's too little too late for da Costa to mount a championship challenge now. But that has really helped DS Techeetah in the team's title race. The podium selfie with those top 3. Beresford wants to be in the selfie as well, doesn't he? And the huge grandstands all behind.
And now,
well,
the general manager of Forward Dance, a relentless space studio focused on addressing equity and expression through dance.
The Moet handed to da Costa. I don't know when the celebrations are going to finish tonight, but they're about to start right now. Antonio Felix da Costa, the winner of the 2022 New York City E-Prix. And the celebrations begin on the podium. He, Mitch Evans and Stoffel van Dorn taking home the trophies. Van Dorn now taking the championship lead as well. And Evans scoring good points to add in to his own championship challenge. Da Costa's teammate Verne has fallen away just a little bit from the title fight. James Barkley celebrated like he'd won the race. Da Costa and Evans, good. In fact, all the 3 of them actually are good chums. As the DS Techeetah team make their way up onto the podium.
13 and 14 of the 2021-2022 ABB FIA World Championship.
Hugs all around from the engineering department as the team make their way up, and they are working, well, they have worked so hard over the course of the season to get the victory. They've been close on a number of occasions. I think Jean-Eric Verne has finished second 3 times at least. 1 second place as well for da Costa. But finally the top step, heading to London in 2 weeks' time at the XL. And 4 weeks from now, we will know who is the Season 8 champion of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. It won't be da Costa, but it could well be Van Dorn or Evans. And we could well have a new title winner as well, with Jean-Eric Verne slipping away as he has done. As da Costa celebrates with his team, and it's one of delight, a feeling of delight. It's also a feeling of relief, I think, for the team to finally get that victory under their belt. So interested to see how they kick on now throughout the remainder of the season, both in the team's championship and for Jean-Eric Verne. Verne hit the wall in qualifying earlier on. That's what knocked him out of contention. But a 7th career victory for da Costa. A superb performance. Let's head back over to the podium, Nicky and Dario.
Well, I think the sun dance that we were doing earlier definitely worked because we didn't have any disruption from rain today. What a phenomenal drive from Antonio Felix da Costa. I mean, it was pretty much faultless, I'm going to say.
There was one moment when he kind of outbraked himself and won, I think. Apart from that, absolutely faultless. Led the way. We weren't giving him a lot of coverage because he just was sat up front. You know, when the exchanges happened, a little bit on attack mode, kept his cool, did exactly what he had to do from the very start of the race. I think he had it under control.
Let's take a little look at the start actually, because he had a phenomenal start. Alexander Sims had a great start. Oh, not so much for Andre Lotterer, though.
Andre Lotterer, it looks like Jack thought he jumped it, but then it looked like there was a problem with it. But you see da Costa in control here. It gets a little bit noisy towards the end of the back of the pack there. But yeah, the lovely stuff already from da Costa. He set his stall out and he stayed up there all day. You see the orange Mahindra. Alexander Sims, he did a great job.
And a great one for Stoffel van Dorn as well. I mean, he didn't make it easy for Antonio Felix da Costa. I mean, both him and Mitch Evans, they were pretty relentless throughout the course of that race. And there was definitely a moment where they could have taken the win.
I felt with Van Dorn, he just couldn't get enough of an advantage to make that overtaking maneuver without taking a huge risk or doing something stupid, neither of which is really in Stoffel's character. Mitch Evans, that phenomenal save when he got pushed onto the bump. Yeah, he hit that bump, got completely crossed up, kept it straight, went down the escape road, had a little flick, kept going, and lost maybe a couple of places. That was great stuff from him, and I think that really saved his day, kept him in contention for the championship and got him back on the podium.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, if we do look at the championship, Van Dorn has now extended his lead. He's 11 points ahead of Edo Mortara, who unfortunately only managed to take 2 points home today. Jean-Eric Verne, though, going home with none. You know, total opposite stories on the side of in the garage. You know, you've got da Costa taking home 28 points because it's 25 for the win and the 3 points for the pole. And then Jean-Eric Verne with none, 25 points between the two of them. What's going to be going on? I mean, how does this change the championship title fight now?
Well, with this new qualifying format this year, you seem to be racing the same people week in, week out, apart from today, which was absolutely a very mixed up grid. But so you can't afford to have those moments of 0 points. You just can't. And so I think Jean-Eric Verne will come to rue today when all the totals are tallied up at the end of the race in Seoul.
Well, of course, we always get to hear from the guys who didn't quite make the podium in the driver's room. Let's hear the conversation.
What happened to you, Andre?
Slip on the edge of the finger. No.
Yeah, we had this in season 5, didn't we? Yeah, Sam, I was looking at the front, what's happening, and then suddenly you were next to me. I didn't see you.
Right, Sergio and the braking, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was good. The Jack looks quick.
Locked up.
Did you know that he was there, or did you lock up and see that?
I was locked up and I knew he was there. But it was so much faster, so...
Yeah, they are.
TikTok was good.
Yeah. May as well, though.
Passing people left and centre.
I mean...
Oh, man. I saw everything in front.
I swear Stoffel was facing like halfway into the wall at one point.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you.
What happened in turn 6? I guess you
were lifting early,
with that or not?
No, not me. I was behind. But the last like 4 laps on me.
And Lucas went for...
that was Mitch.
He went to try to overtake Jeff and went on the inside, then basically, you know... What happened to us, actually?
Where's that bomb? Nice
one.
Save that.
Proper save.
Yeah, and now it's me.
Oh, you hit the wall and everything.
Nice save too.
Right, fair play. Yeah, but look, there is this compression. Boom.
It actually looks more spectacular on the outboard.
Good save.
You guys there?
I guess this is it.
Always good to see their reactions, and congratulations to them for putting points on the board. But Sam Bird there, up from P16 to finish in 5th. Phenomenal. But joining us now is the team principal of DS Techeetah, Thomas Chevauché. Thomas, huge congratulations, because this is in fact the first win with the team in your role as team principal, so it must be a very special one.
Yeah, it's a very special moment. It has been a very long time since our last victory last year in Monaco. The team absolutely needed it, so we are really happy about that, and really looking forward for the following of the season. I think we are ready back now.
Now, obviously fantastic, Antonio winning the race, controlled it from the front. With Jean-Eric, can you get him back into that championship fight?
Jeff, of course we can. Of course we can.
That's what I like to hear.
He is still in the fight. He had a difficult weekend, but he came back from 18 to 10th, fighting for the points before being eaten. So he is definitely in the fight. He has not scored a point this weekend, but I'm sure we have still 4 races to go, and he's definitely in the fight.
Oh yeah, still plenty to play for. That's what we love about DS Techeetah, always in the hunt. Thomas, huge congratulations, and I'm assuming that's champagne that you're covered in,
yes.
And nothing else. Enjoy the celebrations. Razzie, over
Thank
to
you.
Jerome D'Ambrosio, team principal of Rocket Venturi. Bittersweet, I would say. Yesterday, 5th and 2nd. Today, Degrassi wasn't to be. But Edu Mortara, what a fight he put on today.
Well, I think, goes to show that in Formula E, you really have to push all the time, and then opportunities come your way if you have 2 great drivers, a great car, a great team. Edo managed to score 2 points and the fastest lap, starting from last position due to the problems that we had in qualifying, and that those points are important for Formula E. And then Lucas, I think, drove also a fantastic race. They were side by side, throughout the whole race, and unfortunately get taken out while fighting for 10th position. I think he probably would also have gotten in the points, but that's racing. In the end, a positive race considering where we started. Shows we have a great pace, and we're going to try to take that into London, and we're going to focus on that.
And Lucas is a real warrior, by the way, to see what he managed to come back from. He mentioned he was bruised yesterday. Well, today he came in, he absolutely fought, as did Edu Mortara, to get important points for Rocket Venturi. So it's game on for the next E-Prix.
Well, I'm delighted to say that joining us now is Mitch Evans. I'm actually going to call it. I'm going to say I think you were driver of the day, Mitch, because your drive was phenomenal. Dario's looking at me in disagreement.
No disagreement. That particular move over in turn 6, when you held the car straight and then flicked it round nonchalantly in the escape road and only lost at 1 position. I mean, you said Sebastian Ogier's here. Colin McRae would be proud of that one too, mate. Congratulations. What was going through your head when we had all 4 wheels off the ground and you were 45 degrees to the road?
I mean, a lot. I'm just trying to gather the thing up. I thought it was going to be in the escape route and then reverse and then everything race over, basically. I sort of halfway down the braking zone, I realized that I could maybe make it. I wasn't sure how far the other guys were behind, so just want to check this out.
So what's going through your mind right now?
Like, just try and gather up and not lose position. And that's where the other guys come in. Luckily, there was a bit of a gap. But yeah, it was a lucky moment. I thought the car was badly damaged. I had a lot of flat spots after that. The car was, did you finish?
Is that Sebastian Ogier?
Yeah, I got inspiration.
But Mitch, it was such a good drive, and now you've put yourself really in title contention. 16 points between you.
I've always had been.
Oh, well, of
Don't
course.
be surprised.
But you're right back in it now.
Okay, that's a bit harsh. I mean, today I fought hard. I was back in 7th, back up to 4th, back to 7th, 5 seconds off, and I caught up. Honestly, we had the car to win today. I know this guy won't agree, but when you feel like the car is good enough to win, I felt like we had that today, and we just had too many setbacks.
What about this guy?
I guess you want to speak to him, right? Should I just leave?
No, you just hang out. Let's, how was your day? Oh.
A quick one, though.
He's good at this.
Got 40 seconds until we go off air.
No, it's amazing. It's been such a strange and difficult start for me in the year. And then it's been cool since Jakarta. Even Monaco, we kind of kicked it up a bit. And, we can at least could be close to these guys, fight it out a bit. And today it feels like we did another small step and could hold it out in the front, which is good. Yeah, unfortunately still start for me in the year, but now it's all about enjoying it. No pressure really until the end and try and get a few more of these.
Well, huge congratulations. Go and enjoy the celebrations. There's a lot of champagne to be drunk. Join us in 2 weeks' time as racing goes again for the London E-Prix. And guess what? It's a double header.
Time to go racing in the Big Apple. It's the New York City E-Prix. And we go green in New York City, and it's a slow start for Lotterer. Oh, he's lost it! Oh!
Well held.
De Vries does the same thing! Evans is through. The checkered flag falls for the first time this season. Da Costa and Diaz to win on the streets of New York City.